Two moons, a moon, magic and manifestation, spiritual reading. Namaste, I'm SuZen, your teacher and guide, and I call this my two moons, Moon and Dark Moon Lilith reading. It's about what's making us tick at a hidden level, which can hold a lot of power for transformation in our life when we understand what's going on. It's for men as well as women. I consider it's one of the first steps in following your bliss for the joy and magic in your life and understanding transformation and manifestation. So, what is my Lilith? Dark Moon Lilith in your astrological chart isn't exactly a moon as such. And I'm not an astrologer. I'm a meditation teacher and writer, and I had to figure this out because there were things happening in my life which were not explained by traditional astrology or psychology or the spiritual philosophy of yoga. So it's not exactly a moon, it's an asteroid situated at a point in our chart where we experience qualities of it's the anti-Eve from the biblical Garden of Eden story. Also known as the, I'm putting this in quotation marks now, feminist bitch, who walked out on Adam from the garden, refusing to succumb to the pain and suffering of childbearing and male domination. The tendencies of Lilith are again in quotation marks, which this can apply to men and women in this lifetime now because of what we've brought in with us. So these are tendencies which of course do apply to both men and women because we're not conforming to the norm of our society, our culture and our community now. We're living now, but we're not conforming in some way which is hidden to us and which we need to bring to light. Lilith has a 9-year orbit and is in a sign for approximately 9 months. So just like the planets in the signs and houses in your chart, Lilith has qualities and aspects. For most of these, they remain hidden and their effects mysteriously affecting our lives, but also containing the transformational power of darkness into light. And the association is with the crescent moon and the maiden. And what I would say is this, knowing about this, working with this, teaches us how to value life and the most valuable part of life, our joy and our freedom. Think, for instance, of the immense vision of Rudolf Steiner in the early 20th century. His aspects were with a conjunction with Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith, and Neptune in the 5th house. And for example, mine is Lilith conjunct Neptune in Libra in the 8th house, which gives me a strong desire to become one with the collective consciousness. Intuition is my strong point, but it explained to me where my bawdy sense of humour was coming from and a tendency to raucousness, which can get in the way of being a meditation teacher, let's face it, you know. And what does the moon affect in my life and relationships, etc.? Your moon sign determined by where the moon was when you were born. This helps to shape all of your emotions and your soul. I like to say your moon is your character, it's how you handle your emotions, it's how you work with your soul energy. It shines a light on your deepest needs and desires. It's a kind of a showcase for your securities with your emotions. How do you need to feel secure with your emotions? It can be at odds with your Lilith, but it can support other things in your chart. So, for example, my moon is in Aquarius, and moon in Aquarius likes to get things right. However, my sun sign is Pisces, and Pisces know there is no right wrong with emotion. There is only process, and this is why I like Zen so much. There is no right, wrong, there is no perfection. However, Moon in Aquarius wants to get everything right, and my Lilith is messy in the way I approach harmony, which might sound about difficult to deal with, but when I realise this, the result actually is it keeps balance within the whole, with the whole of my body, mind, spiritual system. And it suits my other needs rather than just doing. And it definitely helps with my sense of humour, which explains a lot to me about the way I write, the way I produce things, the way I don't do things. You can see what this spiritual reading consists of and what you'll get, obviously in the descriptions below. It's a reading to contemplate around the dark of the moon, to tune into the energy as she becomes new, to give you more illumination, more insight into who you are and the path to how you value life, your joy and your freedom. Namaste. This is for the healing of your flow and your bliss. SuZen.